Hello, you're watching Hornbill TV's Primetime Bulletin. I'm Nawiki Gone with the headlines. Chairman of the Defence Research and Development Organization, Dr. Samir V. Kamad on Thursday underlined the need for increased investment in research and development in the defence sector while speaking at the CII Annual Business Summit in the National Capital. As search operation for the missing tourist couple continues, Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma said on Thursday that he was personally monitoring the situation on a daily basis. Chief of Air Staff and Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh on Thursday raised serious concerns over persistent delays in defence projects, highlighting the systemic issue of unrealistic timelines and their impact on operational readiness. Assam AIUDF MLA Aminul Islam on Thursday hinted at his party's readiness to join hands with Congress for the upcoming Rajya Sabha elections for Assam. Now for the news in detail. Chief of Air Staff and Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh on Thursday raised serious concerns over persistent delays in defence projects, highlighting the systemic issue of unrealistic timelines and their impact on operational readiness. During his address at the CII Annual Business Summit 2025, Air Chief Marshal pointed at the recurring pattern of delays in project execution and criticized the practice of committing to unachievable deadlines. His remarks come in the context of the reported ongoing challenges with projects like the delivery of the aircraft, which has faced criticism from the Air Chief for failing to meet timelines.
Some recognition. Timelines is a big issue. That is where that Vachan part comes in. So once a timeline is given, not a single project that I can think of has been completed on time. So this is something where we have to look at. Why should we promise something which cannot be achieved? While signing the contract itself, some of the times we are sure that it is not going to come up. But we just sign the contract. Uske baad dekhenge kya karna. Obviously, then the process gets vitiated. Capacity building, I've already talked about. संयम की बात करी थी RM ने, restraint. So even defense forces have been, keeping this restraint of not calling, a black sheep a black sheep. We've been trying to encourage people, but somewhere it will break down someday. So I'm sure let's stretch the thread, the elastic to that process where it is not breaking down. As far as keeping national interests first, I think we've talked about. And with this now situation where we are going, where we are opening up towards the private industry, I'm just reminded of a quote, something that Winston Churchill has said, and I'm going to quote him. To each there comes in their lifetime a special moment when they are figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered a chance to do something special. What a tragedy if that moment finds them unprepared for that which could have been their finest hour. So my request to you all will be, this is something that can become your finest hour. You have a tap on your shoulder. Please rise to the occasion, come together. If today somebody is manufacturing world-class cars, world-class electronics, world-class equipment in the civil domain, why can't that industry or some of the industry join together and say, we will make world-class military equipment, even if it doesn't give me the profit that I'm looking for? Let's rise together to make this nation a great nation.
Chairman of the Defence Research and Development Organization, Dr. Samir V. Kamad on Thursday underlined the need for increased investment in research and development in the defence sector while speaking at the CII Annual Business Summit in the National Capital. Dr. Kamat addressing a gathering at industry leaders and defense stakeholders during the CII Annual Business Summit said today, India spends 5% of its defense budget on R&D. The defense minister has promised that in the next 5 years, this will increase gradually to 10% of the defense budget. Earlier, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh also addressed the inaugural plenary of Confederation of Indian Industry Annual Business Summit in New Delhi today.
With the rest of the world, we need to invest more in R&D. Today we invest about 5% of our defense budget on R&D. The Honorable Raksha Mantri has promised us that over the next 5 years, this will increase to 10% of the defense budget gradually. But I also want to use this opportunity to request the Indian industry that they also have to look at investing in R&D. And as Chairman DRDO, I want to assure you that we will partner you, we will work with you closely to make India a leading R&D country where people look to us for the new innovations in defense technologies. And if that happens, our exports will also increase. We will be at a position where our enemies would not want to deal with us in any form of war. And we can then grow economically at a much faster rate with our focus on lifting the country to become a developed country, which is the vision of
We'll be right back after a short break, so stay tuned.
Where the software engineer meets the talented photographer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University.
Every day goes through 136 quality checks, giving you a thick and tasty, perfect cup of tea. No wonder Nestle Everyday is your #1 choice.
Local aru seasonal sabji khato environment aru gaon nimite bishi labh ase ahibi janibo. Local sabji khato khabole bi bishi mitha ase kile nimite itu sabji khan thik pra pakia piche dehi bikiri kure. Local sabji de dawai khan na chulai aru nutrients bishi thakya nimite ami khana gaon ke bhal rakhe aru weather laga hisab te ami khan kisim kisim bi khabo pai. Local sabji khan dam bi bishi komti thake. Khana khan alag alag jaga pra ahe aro homoy carbon bishi philai de. Itu nimite local khato environment karone bi bishi bal ase. Dusra jaga pra ahya khana to bishi din polai kina ahe aro bishi bar biya bi hoi jay. Itu nimite local khana khato food wastage bi komti hoy. আৰু আখিৰতে লোকেল সামান কিনিয়াৰ পৰা নিজৰ মানুহকে বি বেছি মদত কৰে
Welcome back. Amid preparation for the Bihar election, Chand Suraj Party founder Prashant Kishore Antase challenged PM Modi and Amit Shah to declare if Nitish Kumar was to be the face of the NDA in Bihar. Kishore said the Prime Minister had said that Nitish Kumar was the beloved Chief Minister of Bihar, but did not mention if he will remain in the chair after 2025.
भाई ऐसा है, अगर नीतीश कुमार ही एनडीए के चेहरा हैं तो ये बात तो सिर्फ दो ही व्यक्ति को कहनी चाहिए, या तो मोदी जी कहेंगे या अमित शाह जी कहेंगे, क्योंकि सब लोग जानते हैं कि किसी तीसरे के कहने का कोई महत्व नहीं है। तो मोदी जी आज आ रहे हैं, उनको घोषणा कर देनी चाहिए कि 25 के बाद भी नीतीश कुमार ही बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री रहेंगे और इस घोषणा पर मुहर जनता को लगाना है या रिजेक्ट करना है। भाई अगर है हिम्मत तो कर दें घोषणा। अगर मोदी जी में हिम्मत है, बिल्कुल चैलेंज कर रहे हैं, आप कैमरे पर चैलेंज कर रहे हैं। उन्होंने कहा कि ये बिहार के लाडले मुख्यमंत्री हैं, लेकिन ये नहीं कहा कि 25 के बाद यही लाडले मुख्यमंत्री आगे मुख्यमंत्री बनेंगे। कह के देख ले, जनता अभी बता देगी कि लाडले हैं कि नहीं है। जनता को तय करने दीजिए, अभी तो चुनाव है 3 महीने के 4 महीने के बाद। तो मोदी जी और भाजपा को ये घोषणा करनी चाहिए कि आगे भी नीतीश कुमार ही मुख्यमंत्री बने रहेंगे और फिर उस पर जनता का वोट लेना चाहिए। ये नहीं करना चाहिए कि यहाँ पर अभी नीतीश कुमार का चेहरा लेकर आगे चलेंगे और चुनाव के बाद नीतीश को हटाकर किसी दूसरे को बना देंगे। ये धोखा नहीं करना चाहिए। मोदी जी बहुत हिम्मत वाले 56 इंच के छाती वाले नेता हैं, तो उनको घोषणा करनी चाहिए कि बिहार का मुख्यमंत्री कौन होगा। अगर एनडीए की सरकार बनती है तो बिहार का मुख्यमंत्री कौन होगा, बिहार की जनता ये जानना चाहती है। 3 ही सवाल है। मोदी जी ये बता दें कि अगर एनडीए की सरकार बनेगी तो बिहार का मुख्यमंत्री कौन होगा। दूसरा सवाल, 1,25,000 करोड़ की जो घोषणा आपने 2015 में की थी, उस पैसे का क्या हुआ, उस पैकेज का क्या हुआ। क्या आपने पैकेज भेजा नहीं, या आपने पैकेज भेजा और यहां पर एनडीए की सरकार और उसके मंत्री अफसरों ने उसमें बंदरबाट किया, लूट लिया। और तीसरी बात कि जिस बिहार ने 15 साल से आपको इतना समर्थन दिया है बिहार के लिए, बिहार के विकास के लिए, यहाँ के बेरोजगारी पलायन को रोकने के लिए, आप एक दिन अपने जीवन का कब निकालिएगा जिसमें कि बिहार के इन मूलभूत समस्याओं पर चर्चा हो और आगे का एक ब्लूप्रिंट आपके विजन के हिसाब से ही जारी किया जाए।
Assam AIUDF MLA Aminul Islam on Thursday hinted at his party's readiness to join hands with Congress for the upcoming Rajya Sabha elections for Assam. He said AIUDF has only 15 MLAs, not enough to contest the Rajya Sabha alone. However, if opposition unites, 10 they can easily win a seat. He added if Congress President Gaurav Gogoi wants to unite all opposition under one umbrella, then it can happen.
You see, we have only 15 MLAs. We don't have sufficient MLAs to fight in the Rajya Sabha alone. If all oppositions unitely fight, all Congress, AIUDF, and some suspended MLAs from Congress and AIUDF also, and you see moreover Riser Dal and the CPM, all if united, then one seat can win easily. I think it is the situation presently. The opposition unit is not the same bag. So ultimately, it will decide later on. Just the process is starting date. So ultimately now already process is started. Later on it will prove all oppositions, if may unite, then can do something. Presently, our party alone cannot do anything.
But if Congress has named new state chiefs, so you are hopeful that the party will coordinate with the other opposition parties to unitedly fight in this election.
Yeah, newly APCC president is given, Mr. Gaurav Gogoi is given as a APCC president. Under his leadership, if he wants to unite to all oppositions under one umbrella, then it may be happen. I think positively, I expect positively to do something.
We'll take another short break, so stay tuned.
where the software engineer meets the cool UI UX designer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. Where the software engineer meets the cool UI UX designer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University.
State Institute of Hotel Management Dimapur Academic Year 2025-26 निमित्ते admission शुरू होइছে। SIHM Dimapur offer kuri ase hospitality aro hotel administration de 3 sal laga bachelor's degree kundu NCHMCT logot affiliated ase aro degree certificate to Jawaharlal Nehru University New Delhi bra award koribo. Food production aro food and beverage service laga 1.5 year diploma program bi offer kuri ase SIHM Dimapur de. SIHM Dimapur laga mission do quality education aro personal growth ase. Institute laga dedicated faculty, experienced mentors aro hands-on learning environments pra students can get training di ase. Etu ekla nohoi yate career ge age loi jabole nimite state of the art infrastructure, top package, thaga laga bishi bhal placement, maiki mota nimite alag hostels aro strong industry partnerships bi di ase. Apni luxury resort manage kurubole nohilbi cruise line de chef hobole sapna ase bole SIHM Dimapur do apni ke success kurubole launch pad ase. Don't narukina juldi kuribi admission kola ase. Aru bi jankari lobole call kuribi 9233895656 9863177951 day. Visit www.sihmdimapur.com. Welcome back. In a stunning turn of events, Rachel Gupta, India's first ever Miss Grand International, has officially stepped down from her crown less than a year after her historic win. The 20-year-old model from Jalandhar took to Instagram on May 28 to make the emotional announcement, stating she could no longer remain silent in the face of what she described as, underquote, broken promises, mistreatment and a toxic environment, unquote, within the Beijing organization. In her heartfelt post, Rachel said, underquote, being crowned Miss Grand International was one of my most cherished dreams. I was proud to make history for my country, but the months that followed were filled with disappointment and I can no longer endure it, unquote. She later elaborated on her decision through a detailed video on her YouTube channel where she opened up about the unfortunate circumstances she faced during her reign. Meanwhile, the Miss Grand International organization has responded, stating that Rachel was in fact terminated from her position, further fueling the controversy surrounding her abrupt exit.
Hi everyone, I'm making this video today to tell you guys the truth about what I've been going through for the last 7 months as Miss Grand International. I know this is gonna come as a shock to a lot of you, my decision to step down and return my crown and give up my title. But I also know at the same time that a lot of you knew something wasn't right. You could sense, you know, I read all the comments, so I know a lot of you could tell that my reign wasn't going very, very well, you know, and there were issues with the organization on their end, and I just want to be completely transparent for all of you. I want you to know the reasoning behind this. You've supported me so much, even now, and you deserve to know the truth. And more than that, I'm doing this because there are so many girls all over the world who have the same dream that I did when I entered this competition, and I wanted to win the first crown for India, and I did win the first crown for India. And I want those girls to know the truth about this organization, about the people who have created this system, and I want them to understand what they're signing up for. Because when I started and when I joined and when I won, nobody told me, nobody warned me, and I had to figure it out on my own. And I don't want any other girl to find herself in the same position that I've been in, because these have been the worst few months of my life. I have been at rock bottom. The last time I was truly happy was the night I won. And since then, it's just been going downhill. It's been getting worse and worse. And I've spent the last few months just completely depressed and alone, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. So I want you to know the truth, and it's taking a lot of courage to, first of all, give up the ground that I worked so hard for, and then also to talk about it so openly. But I don't want anyone else to be in the same position as me. So that's why I'm doing this. You all know how much effort I put into this dream of winning, how hard I worked from the beginning. And that's true for so many girls who join. And all I've gotten in return is just constant harassment, mental torture, mistreatment, and it's on a systemic level. Like, I don't think they can ever change this. So I want you to know what I've gone through, and I want you to know how much I've been silently struggling behind my smile. And I know it's seemed like everything is okay, but like, you have to make it look that way when the whole world is watching you and there's always just cameras on you. It's like, you have to seem like everything is okay, but I want you to know the truth now. And I'm gonna tell you everything in this video. First of all, when I joined the competition, I had absolutely no idea that countries were paying for votes, okay? And then the Miss Grand International organization happily accepts them in the form of votes or in the form of, donations. And you guys don't know that. And of course, like, when I found out, like, we couldn't afford to pay for the votes, we didn't have that knowledge, and that's why it was so difficult to compete in terms of votes. You guys know, when I was in the personal interview, Nawat asked me, why do you not have votes? And it's because I wasn't paying to buy votes like every other person was. And honestly, like, it's not even their fault. Like, of course, if they have the option, why wouldn't they do it? Like, everybody wants to win. And the countries who've paid huge amounts of money for votes or for donations, like, of course, if their girl doesn't win, they would be upset because they've basically paid for it and they expect something in return. Nothing is promised, but they expect that, yeah, we've paid, we'll get some return on it. And I don't blame the countries at all. Like, everybody's doing what they can to win, but it is the organization's fault for accepting this and for setting this standard. Because what about the girls who can't afford it? What about the countries who can't afford it, or the national directors who don't know about it, or who don't have access to those kinds of funds, like me? Truly, the only reason I won, despite all of this voting and all of this that was happening, the only reason I won is because of the amount of public support I had. I mean, I think about it now and it still gives me goosebumps, the way people cheered for India, and the way, like, if you asked anybody, they would say they were rooting for India. And on social media and in Thailand, in real life, there was just so much support for me, and I'm so grateful for that, because that is truly the only reason that I won.
That's all for now. Keep watching Hornbill TV.